news that Alexis Ohanian's investing and bought a 10% stake in the club. Can you give us your reaction to the news?
Yeah, my reaction is really positive into that news. I think that's a really exciting moment for the club, for the women's team, for the women English game. Just to have this opportunity to have Alexis who invest in the women's team is something great. Really happy with this news, really excited about this.
It's interesting what he said, because he's written, it's not just about winning titles, he says it's about resources and about respect. So I wonder, what difference do you think that kind of investment can make?
I think it's about the values, and I think, from his words, he showed from the beginning the respect he has for this club and this team, and I think for me means a lot, because this respect is something really important in terms of values. So I'm really excited, and I can't wait to meet him in person.
I was going to ask if you've met him, because I know he's shared a picture of his daughters have now got 2 Chelsea kits ready, so are you expecting to meet him on Sunday, do you think?
Maybe, hopefully after the game, and with a really positive result. So hopefully I'll meet all his family, and I'll make my kids to play tennis. With Sarina, I have my oldest one who loves tennis, so we can arrange something together.
Can I ask for any team news, any injury updates ahead of Sunday?
Yeah, so almost all the squad available except LJ won't be available for this game, but we have Mayra Ramirez who will be back and available.
Great, thank you. And how are you feeling ahead of Sunday? And a lot of talk about the treble. Can you give us a sense of how training's been and how you and the team are feeling heading into it?
Yeah, training has been good. We have been really focused into that last game, really important game for us. That's a final in Wembley, historical stadium, and I think to have the opportunity in one game to again win another trophy will be something exceptional for the team, for the club. So we are really focused on that. We know we can have an historical season as well with the treble. So hold the focus on that goal.
Thank you.
Laura, thank you.
Hi Sonia.
Hi.
Just a few questions, if I may, on that investment that we heard about last night. It's been described as a landmark moment. Now that phrase gets used a lot, but what in your mind do you think could mean that it justifies that tag, that this could be a landmark moment for Chelsea?
Yeah, I think this investment, it is game-changing endorsement for women's game, but also for young girls. I think we spoke about the investment, but also the values under that, and I think that's really important for the women's game again, but also for England to have someone who invests in a team like Chelsea. It just shows like we are in a really great place at the moment, but we still want to be even a better team, better club, and we want to be one of the best team in the world. So it means in terms of result on the pitch, but also we want to be a model outside the pitch. We want to make sure when the young girls look at our team, they just dream being one of our players for the future. And I think we have the right people around the women's team in terms of value investment, and that's really nice to be part of this project.
Do you see it as a real vote of confidence in what is happening here at the club?
Yeah, I think the club made some decisions in the past weeks, and I think they made the right decisions in terms of just allowing this women's team to have investors who come in and just bring the team even to another level. So I think that's really nice, because these investments will only go for the women's team. So it will help the women's team to invest in terms of infrastructures, in terms of facilities, in terms of staff, players again. So I think that's really nice and positive.
I just wondered, I'm sure the news has filtered through to the group. I know you're focused on Sunday, but have you noticed a bit of an extra buzz around them, that they've got this investment and that there's going to be Alexis but also Serena Williams there watching them on Sunday?
Yeah, you know, we didn't talk about it with the players, and I will not mention anything about it, but I'm sure all of them are in social media and they could see the news yesterday. But again, I think the game is something we want to stay focused on. That's really important. But yeah, that's probably an extra motivation going into the game on Sunday, because again, we want to go into the game showing pride, but with this exciting news, you also want to be responsible for the result you get on Sunday and show our best version.
You've got that 20 million, which you say is going to help the team with infrastructure and the squad and staff. Do you think that will, I mean, in a season when you're looking for a domestic treble, you're trying to go unbeaten domestically, could this mean that Chelsea just gets even further away from the chasing pack? And is that a good thing, do you think?
I hope so. I hope we'll be able to do that, because I think I don't have the word, but we want to be the leaders. We want to be the team who shows to every other team how you need to perform and how you need to invest in the women's game. So hopefully this example will bring some other people who will invest in women's team in this league. So I think that's just the example we need to set for ourselves, but also to show to the other teams what they need to do, I think. So yeah, that's really good again for us to be in that position, and yeah, I want us to stay in that position for a long time.
And I know this press conference is about the FA Cup final, and I have one question on that, but do you think this could be the catalyst that helps Chelsea get that elusive Champions League title?
Yeah, it's a big help for sure. So we just said the club already had a lot of success, but also we want to make sure we are in a position to compete for the Champions League. This year we couldn't, and we were not successful, and I take the responsibility for that. But yeah, hopefully next year we'll be in a better position. But having this exciting news and this great investment in the women's team will help for sure.
And you said after you wrapped up the league title that you weren't fully satisfied yet. You had your eye on this FA Cup final. If you did win the domestic treble and you went the domestic season unbeaten, would you finally be satisfied, Sonia?
I would say it will be a really good season, not a perfect one because we missed one trophy. But no, to be honest, I will be really proud for sure, really proud of my players, my staff. But again, that's a final. We play against Man United, who is a team who is used to play that finals. I think they are a really strong team. They didn't concede a lot of goals, and I think we need to remind that as well. I think going into that final will be 50-50. So first of all, we want to go into the final with the best preparation, making sure we have the right mindset, focus on the goal. And yeah, we'll speak after about hopefully a treble, but yeah, we need to play the game first. You're welcome.
Thank you. Who's next, Kit? Thank you.
Hi Sonia.
Hi.
I've also got a slight mix of questions about the final, about the investment, but I'll start with the final. Just how does playing a final and playing at Wembley impact your preparation and your approach to the game compared to just, I suppose, a regular league game? Kind of what changes in your approach to the match?
First of all, I would say just having the opportunity to play at Wembley is something great. I think most of the players and most of manager would love to do that. So we need to realize we are lucky to be in that position. We earned that right, but also we need to enjoy that moment because yeah, that's a really special moment. That's a final, so at the end of the game you will have a title, and yeah, we know we are facing a really strong team. So we'll be ready for that. The week has been the same as our previous weeks. We worked really hard with the confidence we have. And also, yeah, we feel ready going into that final. But it will be a really special moment. I heard maybe 80,000 tickets were sold. So, yeah, just to have the opportunity to play in that stadium with almost a sold out will be maybe the perfect end in your season if you win.
Just go back to team news as well. Obviously, Sam Kerr's not on the Australia squad, so I don't think we're expecting to see her tomorrow. But is that the case? Well, she's not available for tomorrow.
No, she won't be available for the game, so we won't see Sam this season.
Yeah. And just kind of more broadly, it's a good time to reflect on how the season's been going into the last game. Just like, what's, I suppose, your assessment of the season and where can Chelsea get even better?
I think that's difficult for me to make an assessment now because, as I said, we have an important game on Sunday, so I want to make sure we play that game before I can have a review in the season. I think we are in a really good place. Just the fact we won the league, being unbeaten, it's we won a title, but it's maybe more than a title because the way we were able to do that is a special way. I think this will stay in history for a long time. That's really positive and brings us confidence going into the last game in the season. But again, I think that's not the right time for me to reflect on all the season because I think we still have one important game.
And just quickly going back to the investment, obviously it feels like we've seen sort of similar kind of, I suppose, size of investment in the US game in women's football, but maybe not so much in England and in Europe. So what does this investment show on a wider scale about where English and European women's football is going?
Yeah, I think it just shows the English football is in a really good place. Just to have someone who invests in a women's team in England in this league, I think it's something really positive. It brings the English football and the European football even further and higher. I think it's something really exciting, and also just the fact Alexis want to make this team, Chelsea, one of the most famous team in US. It's also something more in the world, not only about Europe. So I think that's really nice, positive again, and we are all really excited about that.
And why do you think Alexis chose Chelsea?
We are the best. Simple. No, I think results help a lot. I think when you have a successful team, but also the values. And when I told you when I joined this club, I felt from the beginning I was in the right place, just in terms of feeling the support coming from the ownerships and the people who are working around this women's team, but also the values. And I think when you come into Chelsea, you quickly realize we are a family, and values in life are really important to me, but also in this club. So I think I said I feel lucky because coming into Chelsea, I feel I'm in the right place to just enjoy my passion, but also just work with a lot of desire and love. So I think it's really nice.
Thank you, Kit. Susie, take it away, please.
Hey, Sonia.
Hi.
When you are making the decision to come to Chelsea, how much do you visualise? Could you have envisioned you'll be leading the team into a FA Cup final at Wembley, a new £20 million investment in the club, an unbeaten league season? I mean, obviously there's European disappointment, but that's like an impressive first year, regardless of whether you're ready to reflect on the season just yet.
If I had that visions in the future, I will play maybe lotto to win a lot of money. But no, to be honest, I was not thinking that much about the success we could have had together, even if, again, I make sure individually I really work hard to make things happen. I think the success in this club is not only about myself, it's also about having the good squad, the good players on the pitch, having people who believe in the women's team and support the women's team. And I think when you have all these people together, I think make things work and also make things happen. And I think the success comes from here. So really pleased to be the Chelsea manager, to be in a club who really trust and really like the women's team and support the women's team. So that's an honor for me.
Trophies and results obviously help with recruitment and things like that, but how much you mentioned values and the respect that Alexi coming on board brings and shows about the kind of culture you're trying to create and things like that. How important is that respect that players feel when they walk into an environment? How important is that at helping with recruitment and things like that and retention of players?
Yeah, really important. When I have players on my phone, just to try to recruit them, I always make sure I talk about the pitch, but I spend as much time talking about the pitch as talking about them as a person, because I think for me it's really important. You know, when you come into a club as a player, but also as a manager, you spend so much time together. And I think I already said that. We spend more time together than sometimes with your own ones. And I think that's really important. When you are together, you feel like a family. So for some positive moments, but also when it's low moments. And I think it's really important to have that values. And I think, we talk a lot about money, but money in life is important for sure. It can change your life. But for me, the values are the things who stay in the stone, you know. And from my career being a player and now a manager, I will remember always these memories about what I was able to share with my teammates, with my staff, rather than how much I was earning as a player or as a manager. Thank you.
Who's next? Yeah.
Hi, Sonia.
Hi.
How do you feel preparing for such a big game after winning the league?
Really excited to have one more game with this ambition and the fact we can, in this last game, win another trophy. I think, just to end the season with a FA Cup final in Wembley against Man United is maybe the perfect way to end the season. But again, it will be perfect only if we win. So we need to make sure going into that game, again, we have the best preparation and we perform on the day.
And also, you have some quite young players in your squad, obviously Lola Brown and Katie Cox. How do you feel that being at Wembley will help develop them in their future careers?
Yeah, it will be a great moment for them, for sure. We spoke a little bit about that. I think I'm lucky to have in my squad some English players who are used to playing that stadium. And I think they had some conversations together to help them to prepare the game, because I think being in Wembley can be quite intimidating. So I think, we had these conversations together, and I think for them will be a huge opportunity to enjoy that moment.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
David, can we come to you?
Yes. First of all, congratulations on winning the title.
Thank you.
And obviously, we spoke obviously about you not going overboard with celebrations, things like that. Really, I just want to ask: did anybody from your team go over the ball with celebrations? In particular, did they do anything that made you very cross or made you indeed very scary?
I have this big list, names of players, so it's too long for me to say. No. Hopefully it's good because I can trust my players and they are really professional. So we had some really good moments, but we also knew we had a big game to prepare. So we had a fun and good moments, but no one went over the line.
You didn't strangle anybody or anything. If you go overboard, then I'm gonna.
No, the players are so respectful so for me, and they don't do anything silly.
And speaking obviously on the FA Cup final, it's a momentous FA Cup final, taking on a team that's going to be back in the FA Cup final. Manchester United, they won obviously last year. For you personally, really, when you talk about, what you've achieved this season, do you think winning an FA Cup alongside, obviously the Subways League Cup and WSL as well, would you say it's like the cherry on the cake, really, as we say in England?
I wouldn't say the cherry on the cake, because I think the FA Cup final is a big trophy and a trophy really important for every club. I probably say, if we have the opportunity to win, again, it will be a big achievement, and being able to have a treble will be also a really big achievement. But every competition is important, so I don't see the FA Cup being different. It's a trophy. We want to compete for every trophy, and we have the opportunity on Sunday to win another trophy. So this is our mentality going into the game.
And obviously, domestic travel on the cards. I believe the other manager, the first French manager since Arsene Wenger to go unbeaten in the league this season, and for you personally, breaking records like that, I know it's not the intention for every manager to break records, but for you personally, does it fill you with immense pride to perhaps break records and to perhaps look to break even more records come Sunday?
Again, I started to think about staying unbeaten in the league after we won the Man United game. So I didn't have this in mind before. The only persons who were mentioning that actually were the journalists and some people outside the club. So yeah, I just realized at the end of the season, almost with 2 games left, it was something maybe we could go for. So yeah, that's a record. It's going to be part of history for ever now. But for me again, like we want to make sure when we have the opportunity to go to an important game, we just have the right mentality again, and we are prepared in the best way possible. And it will be time after the game to reflect, but I want to make sure I don't reflect on a possible trouble or something historical before the game, because again, like it's not the right time. So yeah, focus on the game. We want to make sure we have the best performance to have the best chances to win, and we'll see after how it goes.
And obviously, last question for me. I don't want to hold up too much of your time. I don't know how much time they will give me for questions.
I have all my life for you. We'll have a phone call from you know who is going to call. You need to go home.
Last question for me, really. I want to talk a bit more about this season. Obviously, we gifted you with chocolates after the Subway League Cup final. I hope you enjoyed the chocolates as well. If you was to summarise your first season here in the UK, you know, all the talk about unbeaten records, all the talk about, you know, chocolates, all the talk about, you know, how long could Chelsea go on without losing? How would you describe your first season here in England as like in chocolate form?
Chocolate form.
In chocolate form.
Easy for me. Oh wow, easy for me.
Specific chocolate that would like.
Bring me some more. Bring me some more. Yeah, lots. Lydia, you didn't prepare me for these questions. Like, I didn't see any chocolate in my brief, so...
I was going to say, David's questions are like a box of chocolates, so I feel like you never know really what you're going to get.
David, you today, woo. It's difficult questions. No, you are on fire. No, if you want me to describe with few words my season, I would say I really enjoyed it. And it's difficult to describe only few moments because we had lovely moments in the season. But even my press conferences, I remember when I started the first one, I couldn't pronounce more than 10 words in one sentence. So now we are starting to talk about chocolate and everything. So yeah, it's a strange one, I would say, to end the season.
Okay, well, let me know what chocolates you like, and then we'll get some for you and for the rest of the press as well.
I'll talk to Lydia and I'll make sure she mentioned that to you.
Chocolate's always good. Thanks for bearing with us, guys, on Zoom. Can we come across to you, Emma, next, please?
Yeah, hi Sonia, nice
Hi,
to see
Emma.
you. I just wonder, given everything that you've obviously achieved already this season, does it kind of upset you on a personal level and also the squad when you see people talking about the kind of the financial investment at Chelsea and how, you know, Chelsea should be winning because, you know, they spend so much more money than everyone else? I just wondered, like, does that kind of undermine the achievements of yourself and your players? How do you feel about it?
No, I just feel like I'm really proud of my players, just because that's never easy to achieve that. You know, I think you have different examples even in the men's game. I remember a few years ago, Real Madrid had invested a lot of money in maybe the best players in their squad. They had the best players in the starting 11 and they couldn't play together and they didn't have any success. So I think even if you have really talented players in the squad, really great players, you still have to find a way to have a team performance. And I think this year that's probably what we were able to show. We really were together as a team. Togetherness was really important for us, and I think also what was maybe something who made the team successful. So yeah, even if you invest in the women's team, even if you have the best players, that's never easy to perform and to get results. So all the credit to my players, the hard work they put on the pitch and the right mentality they have.
Thanks, Sonia. All the best on Sunday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Emma. Can we come to Helen next, please? She's joining us from outer space again, which is quite impressive.
I'm sorry, I'm actually in Yorkshire, but it looks very much like this at the moment. So, Sonia, when we saw the Arsenal Man U game on Sunday, when you were having a nice calm 1-0, they were having this 4-3 extravaganza. Mark Skinner said at the end that it was really good preparation because the atmosphere was like an FA Cup final. So it's sort of ideal preparation. And I wondered is there anything you do differently for this kind of match coming up? Because looking back at last season when Man United won the FA Cup final, their form dropped off incredibly after they did that. And how do you do that when you've won the WSL and the next weekend you're going for the FA Cup final? How do you keep up that momentum, and is there anything you do differently?
No, I think we tried all the season to keep that momentum going into every game. I think just the fact this game on Sunday will be a final at Wembley, and we are competing for another trophy. It's enough for my players to have the motivation going into that game. I think, most of my players have the experience to play in that stadium, but also to play in the stadiums with a lot of fans. And I think, we feel ready to face that challenge. We know it will be a big challenge, but we feel ready.
And the last question from me, just and good luck, by the way, on Sunday.
Thank you.
The Man United defence on Saturday, showed a lot of vulnerability, which they haven't at all. I think that a quarter of their goals they've conceded this season were in that one game. And the defence looked a bit of a mess. And I wondered if there's any way you've looked at the game and seen how you can exploit it.
Yeah, I think I already said, but as a staff, we look at every game from the opposition. We analyze everything. We don't leave any detail on the table. We just make sure we analyze everything and we have the best preparation going into the game. So yeah, we looked at the game, we were watching, and we know what we need to do if we want to cause some trouble to Man United. They had one game where they conceded 3 goals, but most of the time in the season they were strong enough to defend their goal. So yeah, the game on Sunday will be probably different because I think it's 50-50 from the beginning, but also because it's another competition, and when you start the game it's 0-0. You could see also how difficult it was for us to break them down when we played then in Man United. We could score on the set piece, but so we are expecting Man United to come and again to be a strong team to defeat.
Thank you very much indeed. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. And we'll close with Asif and Dan. Can we come to you next, Asif?
Thanks, Lydia. Hi, Sonia.
Hi.
You've played at Wembley yourself against Japan back in 2012. Was missing out on that gold medal match one of the saddest days of your career? And have you had any experiences since of being at Wembley for a big women's match?
I think as a player it was the last game I played there. Not a good memory because we lost that game. We were so close. When I reflect on that, and it was a difficult moment because we were so close to get a good result and go to another level with the French team. But except that moment, I never played there again. I never coached a game there. I just went there in the stands with my family to watch the England games, women's games. So yeah, it was different. So on Sunday, I will be really excited to be pitch side, and hopefully the experience will be a positive one.
And you won the French Cup as a player and a coach. And when you look at the FA Cup in England, when the finals played at the National Stadium, and you can have 10 times as many fans as you would have in France, is that one of the reasons you wanted to come to England for occasions like Sunday? Yeah,
for sure. For sure, as a coach, as a manager, as a player, you want to be part of that games. I think, just the fact you can play in front of thousands of people. I think, to play at an historical stadium, and the fact you can win one of the famous trophies in England, the FA Cup. I think it's something who happens only few times in your life again. So I think that's a big opportunity, and everyone should be excited to go in that challenge.
Cheers. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Last but not least, Dan, please. Thank you for waiting.
Hey, Sonia. I hope you're well.
Hi Dan.
You
Yes.
mentioned about this being a 50-50 game, and I suppose the games against United in the league were very tight, and again they could have gone either way. So when you look back at those and the performances, what is the one thing going into this weekend that you want to see in terms of an improvement against Man United?
Yeah, maybe we created some opportunities in that game. So, most of the time that's the case when you play these important games. Small details are really important, and we'll need to make sure we'll be efficient in our box, but also in their box. So if we create some chances, we need to score them, and I think it could help to get a good result.
That's brilliant. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Cool. We'll leave it there. Thanks very much, everybody.
Thank
See
you,
on
everybody.
Sunday.
See you on Sunday. Yep.